Technical difficulties going on. We are coming into you guys.
Hello?
Hello, hello. All right, if anybody in the comments can let us know if you can hear us.
Hello. I still.
We are in episode 8.
Okay.
There is Del Rico.
Okay. I'm coming, good people. I'm coming. I'm not going to miss this. Little technical difficulties, but we back. I don't know who's in with us yet, but if anybody's in with us, you let me know how it sounds. Hello, Miss May. How are you?
I'd be better if I could hear you all the way.
Do I got to turn it up? So, is that better? No, that's not better.
Let me see if this works. Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Not really. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, for a second, that was better.
Okay. Yep, there we go. All right, so good evening, Del Rico. How are you this week?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm maintaining. No complaints. Maintaining life. Embracing that some normalcy is returning to schedules in life.
Right. Yeah. We give me one second. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more light.
Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. We're here every Sunday, 8 o'clock on the dot.
Yeah, we on CP time. Internet issues.
The internet is not us. We was trying.
Yeah, but we're gonna work through it. Let me know if I sound what I sound
Got
like
a little
to you.
echo. Maybe your computer volume down a little bit.
I'm trying to get the hello. Is that better?
That's better. So I guess we can get started.
I don't know how many people we have joined in. I can't really see.
Well, we got to still go with the flow. We never know how many is here.
Yeah, but I'm gonna work through it. Episode 8, Kings and Queens. Appreciate you for holding in there, being patient with us. We're trying to work through this internet, these issues, but soon we'll have it perfected. The whole thing's gonna flow kind of smooth, and we won't be dealing with this in the future. So once again, we want to apologize. But again, how are you? How are you, Miss May?
I'm good. Like I said, week is starting to get back to normal, and so I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited for that.
Yeah, across the country, I see kids are going back to school. People getting back out in the world. I mean, it's crazy because you got both sides of the fence. You got people who still don't believe, anything's going on, so they just going out there and doing what they want to do. And then you got people who are super scared and they don't want to come out. So you're gonna always have both sides of the fence. So that's what some of the issues are with with this COVID and pandemic thing. But we're going to talk about that, and we're going to hopefully give some solutions and answer
Yes.
some questions if you guys have questions about what's going on. So let's go.
Let's go. You usually jump us off with some episode or something that you saw throughout the week. So what's good this week? What captured your attention that was related to our community and what it is that we talk about? We talk about love languages, social justice, youth, relationships, couples, the man and woman point of view. So what jumped out to you this week as we jump in our conversation?
Um, I mean, there's always with social media, there's always something you can pick. Especially when you have a platform like this, it's usually good because there's always a topic that you can flow on that you can talk about. But I guess a little bit kind of piggybacking on what we spoke on last week about toxic relationships and that kind of thing. I was watching. I don't know if it's American Legacy on Donald Trump, American Hero. So I don't know something. The name of it is on Netflix. So I got a little deeper, a little insight about the man that we call the president, and based on toxic masculinity and toxicity and those kind of words. I mean, we're gonna have some people who disagree, especially some of my type A guys about the word toxic masculinity, but
Right.
about some of his behaviors. And I mean, to be honest, the man's very toxic. There's no denying that. I always had a coach say, said, film don't lie.
Right.
So when we go back and watch this man's film, I mean, if you lying for him, you lying to yourself. So, give me 1 second. If you lying, if you lying for him, then you're kind of lying to yourself. So, it was just interesting how they said the man told his first wife, who birthed his children, he no longer wanted to have sex with her because she had kids. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what you call that. That's as low as you could possibly get. Like,
So what was his reason, like that he no longer wanted to be connected to her, or as a relationship therapist? I want to know.
he was Donald Trump.
Mm-mm.
He was a white man in this white society we live in who was spoiled and he was rich and he was wealthy and he was on the come up. So it was like he felt invincible. So you got to think, if that's how he felt and all he had was a few businesses that he was running back then, what kind of ego, what kind of toxicity, what kind of language, demeanor? I mean, the people who sit around him like that, they are just, I mean, I don't even know the word like that. I mean, it's probably abusive being around him.
Right.
Probably very toxic. It's probably not a good vibe to be in. And that's what it's from afar. That's what it seems like when you have a very high turnover rate that he does. And I'm talking about just the people around him who get around them and you like, oh my God, I gotta go. Something's really wrong there, and it's sad that now this country that people love, died for, did everything for, that he's a representation of them, and um, it just hearing it and watching him how he maneuvers and talk to people. And I mean, everybody close to him, he was a liar, a manipulator. Like, he did whatever it took to get to the top, no matter what he perceived to be the top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want. I mean, I don't want that much power. I don't want to be the person they call the commander in chief and you lead. And nah, don't give me that much power. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you can't look out for everybody's interests. You're going to look out for the majority's interests. And to me, I mean, in this society, yeah, that's okay, but there's going to be still some people who don't benefit, and that's wrong. We got enough. We have abundance here. There's no doubt about it. We have abundance here, and it's just sad. And he played on a lot of people's lower self
Mhm.
to become the president. I mean, you if that's a reflection, if he's a reflection of this country, yeah, that's an awful reflection to have.
And like as you describe his characteristics of who he is as a person, it makes me just think about like our topic this evening, talking about like toxic personalities and toxic relationships. That usually what makes it toxic is a person that's always seeking to be the absolute right, like no matter what, or to have the absolute power no matter what in a situation. And if it's between man and woman, there's certain things that really is not a competition. However, it shows up, and how it is that you talk to people, how you greet people, how you acknowledge their presence and their support, to who they are as a being and who they are as they contribute to you as a person as well.
Yeah.
Um, So
Mhm.
I do want to take a pause real quick because we might have some people who are just joining us for the first time, in addition to us having our technical difficulties. And would you like to share what infinite mind and body is?
Yeah, definitely. So for the people who just joining us, I appreciate you guys. Um, my name's Del Rico. I'm cousin Fletch. That's what I go by. That's what I tell all the young people out here. But Infinite Minded Body Educational Athletics. It's really a program that was started because I was in back in Pittsburgh and wanted to kind of get back in shape, and there were some kids at the park who wanted to start coming with me, and
Mm-hmm.
so I started using sports, which is their language. It's why they were at the park to
Mm-hmm.
kind of um, teach life
Mm-hmm.
through the sport. So that's basically what it is. We go over tons of things: mental health. We go over life skills. We go over, we talking about elevating our chocolate crown. We go over ways to be, to become a man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even there's been young ladies that I've worked with as well. But it's just a life skills program, and we just try to build you up and build a better you and find your gifts and talents, and also teach you how to monetize that. Um,
Okay.
so it's a whole array of things. We teach you how to eat well. So that's a segue, easy to my favorite book. Okay, I said this one was my favorite, Blacked Out Through Whitewash.
Right.
Susan,
That was last week's favorite.
I'm lying. I'm lying. But no, go get it. Blacked Out Through Whitewash. But this right here, this will change your life. African Holistic Health. Um, Dr. Layla Africa. Um, African Holistic Health. Dr. Layla Africa. Please. I mean, listen, people, we're different, man. We're different. They can't lower yourself to be what they are. You are different. You need to eat different. You need to think different. You need to put different stuff in your body than they've been teaching you to do all your life. That's why we all sick. Like, listen, that's your life has been the video. So now watch it. Are you sick? Are you hurting? Are you beat up? Anything wrong? Listen, this is the health. This is the key. It'll teach you about herbs. It'll teach you about minerals. It'll teach you about all kind of things. Another little segue. Sea moss.
So can I say something about CMOS before you jump in?
Yeah, please do.
As a relationship therapist, I deal with a lot of individuals as well as couples that may, trust me to talk about everything related to intimacy, because that's just the way in which I help them out. And between the African Holistic book, but if you are having just like headaches or attention issues, blood flow issues, intimacy issues, CMOS is something that's very, very key to helping you to correct those situations. So, we don't make it, grow it, or anything like that, but we are definitely a subscriber to the fact that CMOS can correct anything. So if the blood flow is not happening to all of the body parts that you need it to happen to, so that you could be successful in your intimate growth life with your partner, then you need to add it to your shakes, your soup, your drink on ice, multiple ways that Dorico could probably tell you all of the other ways to kind of consume it. But I know that I have shared it with several individuals and couples and families, and they have seen the progress and the productivity change as far as their success in being helpful in the community with their attention, productivity, following through on stuff, and then of course intimacy builds up better. So I'm getting good reviews as the relationship therapist by telling them to integrate that. So
No,
Delrico,
listen,
something else.
listen. Sea moss is magic, man. It give you the 92 minerals. There's nothing else in this world that's going to do that
Right.
in one sitting. Um, Also, what is big on it, it helps dissolve mucus. So if you sick a lot of the times it's just the mucus in our body. If we can remove some of that and get that out, like I know ladies don't like to spit, but I tell you, sometimes you'll hear, and like right now, it's crazy. If you do anything coughing wise, and people looking at you crazy,
Right.
but you got a lot of people who swallow that back down. It's mucus. It's things you don't want in your gut. So we got to remove some of this stuff and start removing it out of our gut if we want to live healthier. But this book is amazing. And listen, for the fellas, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be very honest with you. CMOS, if you having trouble with noodle meat, if you have if you having any issues, your lady said, babe, there's a problem, there's an issue, CMOS. Get it, fellas. It'll help you. You don't have to, you can get off the pills, you can get off of all the stuff that's not natural. CMOS stimulates blood flow, so it's good for your skin. There's a whole array of things that CMOS is beneficial. And like Miss May said, you could put it in your drinks, your soup. Ladies, sneak it in your man's meals. He won't even know it's in there. So check it out, all my IG people. You know what I'm saying? Go check it out. So if you got noodle meat, I got something for you, baby. So holla at Chocolate Crown.
And noodle meat does not help a relationship grow. So we need to make sure that is corrected, so you don't have to have a replacement person for something that you can actually correct. So is there anything else that they should know about Infinite Mind and Body?
Um, I mean, it's for young people from 8 to 20, in your early 20s. I mean, young people. Listen, I've also worked in mentoring college readiness, so I know a lot of things as far as getting you prepared for college and how to sustain going through college. We know a lot of people who go off to college, but within a minute they right back home, and you ask
Right.
them why. So because we wasn't prepared, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that go on at these colleges we're not ready for, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, we just work with young people every step of the way. I mean, I'm building back up. I mean, what I was doing, but I'm committed to young people being the best that they could be, seeing more that they've seen. And if you got a dream, why not? Why can't we reach it? Why can't we go ahead and attain what we set out to set dreams for? So, I mean, basically that's what it is. And we also work on getting in shape and doing some things to better enhance if you're playing sports. We enhance your sports from your eye coordination to your hands to your feet, incorporating a better diet because a lot of times young people have terrible diets, and then when you playing a sport and you wonder why your body's not reacting the way you want it to because of all the weeks you done ate McDonald's 5 days this week, and you need for your body to do something that your mind might say, but your body's not going to be on the same page. So there's a reason why it's called infinite mind and body, because we want all three. I mean, we want the body to be infinite and we want the mind to be infinite.
Right.
So, you know, there's no limits to it. I mean, it's the infinite symbol for a reason because there's no limits and you don't let anybody set limits on you. So infinite minded body, we not set limits, we make your limits reachable and attainable. So that's what it's about. Thanks for joining IG. I appreciate y'all. Uh, but yeah, we talking about infinite minded body. So we do incorporate a lot of stuff out of this book. I mean, a lot of stuff. There's recipes in this book. There's history in this book about our people. So that's a great book. I'll wait to introduce the other book.
So
You
I
know,
just
a
want to
little.
say really quickly, I am a relationship therapist. I do individual, couples, and family therapy, from children all the way to seasoned adult. And I deal with issues of sexual trauma, depression, anxiety, and I work side by side with agencies or companies or groups like Infinite Mind and Body, working with the youth and bringing in that mental health component, but talking about like real issues that teens through seasoned adults are really dealing with. So outside of the therapy room, that's how I show up. But then I'm also an advocate for safe relationships in regards to like teen dating violence, domestic and intimate partner violence, and suicide prevention, because it does happen in our community, as well as bullying. So if that's just like a quick drive-by introduction into the work, the scope of work that I do, I just wanted to make sure that if you are new to us, that you know from what perspective, other than the man and female, what we're coming from. So
Yeah, listen,
relationships.
listen. Infinite minded body is. I'm trying to reach the kid that you think you can't reach.
Mm-hmm.
That one that's, he's a little rougher, he's a little tougher, but you see something in him, something he probably don't see in himself, something she probably don't see in herself, but you see it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a spark, and once you set that spark, man. Listen, I done seen kids who they thought they had no chance, and now they doing better than the person who said they had no chance. So, you know, we just trying to reach as many people as possible and change as many people's perspectives and the way they think and just their outlook on life, because this thing is not easy, man. This journey is not easy. There's nothing easy about it. I mean, we got to be honest. Everybody, even when we come out with a smile on our face, there's something going on in our life that probably can make you cry. You know what I'm saying? So we trying to come to this platform and be an outlet. You might have a comment, you might have something to say that's just letting loose, and then we go off on topic about it and gave you a solution. So yeah, if you hear something, you know, make a comment. Please make a comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Chocolate Crowns is here, 8 o'clock Sundays, and come through.
All right, so we talked about toxic relationships last week, and we talked about the relationship between the new Vice President Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. Sending her shouts out and congratulations for the victories that she represents. And but I do have a PSA before we jump all the way into what we
Yep, you better give it.
I have a PSA. So if you are following the election and the news and the different things that how dirty politics usually gets the closer we get to voting day, and you have to just look at everything with a certain lens of just knowing that the purpose is to be deceptive. However, if you are someone who has had some sexual trauma, if you've been raped, if you've been sexually abused, you had a one night stand that became aggressive or something like that, and I'm just really just want to have a real talk PSA. Don't follow the election because you're going to be triggered no matter if you're in therapy doing something that's making you feel better or not. It's going to hit you and it's going to land hard and you're going to land hard. So I'm trying to be proactive in the fact that it's just about to start and the games and everything is about to tune up all the way to the tune of 100% and maybe 1,000%. Because whereas Kamala acknowledged, that she's aware of things that we may not agree with, she's complicit and she's had to be complicit in a sense to get to the level of which she is in society in this role. So, but is that acceptable to us and is it toxic?
Is she complicit? Woo! Yeah, listen, you're gonna rub some people the wrong way because that's gonna get me started, and then people gonna be mad at me. Man, I don't want my cousins and my family and my friends out there in internet land mad at me because I might have said something about the sister who don't want to claim being the sister. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not really even about her per se, but it's about the concepts in which she's co-signing, and we're not swaying your vote in any particular way.
Hold that right there. If it's about who she's co-signing, it's about her as well. Listen, there's a standard. If you co-sign somebody, that means you believe in what they stand for, and people are gonna be mad. But there's certain things that you can't stand with.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how they say when there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
You got accusations of touching little people. If you got accusations of touching women when they don't want to be touched, you're a creep. 100% creep. And as a woman, how do you co-sign that? As a man, I don't know. Like, I've lost friendships as a man because of men who hit women.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it off everybody's relationship, but if I know my friend beat chicks up, that's what he do. That's not my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the morality in this thing? So we want to be a part of this culture, and then we gonna accept even the BS of the culture.
Right.
Like, where is our morality at? If we supposed to be, if we supposed to be those people, honestly, where is our morality in that? And I see a lot of people I love just co-signing somebody they don't know. You don't even like your own brother, sister, cousins in your own family that you know and you've been around for a long time, but we co-sign this. I ain't saying don't vote for whoever, because I don't like the way my he gotta go yesterday. But we keep getting duped. And I laugh because I'm light skinned. But we keep getting duped by these light skinned brothers and sisters. we keep getting duped. And the system ain't gonna give you no dark brother with no locks all down. Nah, they ain't gonna give you that. They gonna give you those ones that they feel they can trust.
Right.
Who a little softer. Obama ain't gonna stand up, and I know everybody will be mad about that one. But go check out all the taxes you got. How many taxes was put in place when our brother was president? You know what I'm saying? How many? So we got to really do our homework when they give us somebody. This system ain't never like us. They beat your grandma in the head. They break your uncles and your great grandmother and everybody. And you think you different. You think you think they like you a little better, huh? That's where we at now, though. It's like that. It's like we believe we better, and it's sad. And if we are better, and we should be carrying ourselves better. We should be doing better things instead of thinking a system that had they knee on the neck of your grandmother, not just brother George Floyd. It had it
Right.
on the neck of your grandmother and grandfather. That it's gonna be any different, man.
So, how does jealousy come across in a man's relationship?
How does jealousy come across in a man's
Is
relationship?
it positive? Do you enjoy it? Is it like, oh, she must be really into me? Is it a compliment?
Oh, so how do what's up, brother Nor? What's up, my brother? Luch checking in with us. I appreciate you, King. I always appreciate you, my brother. So how does jealousy? So number one, jealousy is never good with anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
With anything. Being jealous is different than being into somebody. Being jealous is another weight that's being put upon somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Being jealous is like somebody trying to tackle you and dragging you down. That's what being jealous is like. And I think it's on one end, it's up to the person that you're with to kind of tread lightly and not make a person feel a certain kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's on that other side to say, um, like that everyone needs space. What's up,
Mm-hmm.
B? What's up, my brother? Checking in with you. Sorry about that. We was a little bit late getting in today, people. We had the internet issue, so I appreciate y'all checking in, man. I appreciate. Um, but yeah, jealousy is never it's never good. It's never ever 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 a good thing. I don't believe that when you have a jealous person in a relationship that you could both really flourish and fly like you supposed to. You too busy worried about what I'm doing. I'm too busy worried about like what I'm doing doesn't bother you.
Mm-hmm. Like walking on eggshells for every move that you make, which is a power struggle as well as an insecurity at the same time. Somebody mentioned that it's a headache. It's definitely a headache because it's like a job you ain't signed up for, that the payment is not equaling the value of the time that you have to spend to kind of walk on those eggshells.
Yeah, listen, man. If that's what I've been saying over the past, this is episode number 8. So some of the things going to be reiterated because they
Right.
need to be beat into our head over and over and over and over and over. You can't be in a relationship where you can't be vulnerable and be with your guard down in your own home. You can't be worried about just stuff that doesn't affect the relationship, stuff that is meaningless. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't hold power over your relationship, but we see that little things do hold power over your relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're in a relationship with a jealous person, you got to cut dead weight, man.
Right.
You have to, as hard as it is sometimes, as hard as it may be, as in love that with this person you may be, sometimes it's better to cut that because a lot of times it only ends bad.
So ends bad as far as you missing the tires on your car, your paint is scratched up, or it ends bad that you just emotionally hurt and don't know how to heal from it.
All of it. All of it. Just like you don't run a broken car, you don't want a broken person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want my tires to be on my car. I want my windows to be out the crib.
Mm-hmm.
And I want my emotional state to be intact. And if this jealous person is around all the time, a lot of them things ain't gonna be intact. Jasmine Sullivan, did she say bust your car out your window? Ain't that what she said?
She did. She did. She was serious.
She from Philly. Oh, yeah. Had your car sitting on bricks. You
Right.
know, like no. Listen, when you get a person who's jealous, that's the emotional state. You in an emotional fragile state. When
Mm-hmm.
your emotions start leading, and then emotions start leading your actions, it's going to be a bad outcome.
Mm-hmm.
You,
But then, like, where does a person get better from that? Like, what is it that really is drawing from your perspective that's causing them to be so jealous about it? Um, or like, because it's a power thing. It's the thing that they have to feel that they're comparing themselves to something that they feel that they're lacking, but then this action that they do is causing them to get gratification of some sort that's still very toxic.
I mean, for instance, you could have somebody in a relationship who's jealous of the other person and they make money. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? They make more money. But you reap benefits of that from being around it, but you still jealous.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all kind of, there's different sorts of it, but ultimately, there's nothing good that's going to come from it.
Right,
You, if that jealousy, if that person who's jealous is now, that they're a beneficiary of you making money, but then they start sabotaging your job, coming to
right,
your job, showing, you know what I'm saying, doing crazy stuff at your job, taking that personal jealousy and bringing it into your business world and affecting your money. Now your household is affected. So ultimately, when we think about the issue, you got to think about what's the best thing that can happen and what's the worst thing that can happen from this. And a lot of times we don't think out the end result of what is the worst consequence that can happen. So I think about you busting out my car, and flattening my tires,
right.
and putting sugar in your tank. That's a throwback one. Females back in the
Showing your
day,
age with that one.
yeah, sugar in the tank. I ain't my story. I know. Yep, throw sugar. Luch is old enough. He know he my age. They throw sugar in they throw sugar in your tank. But
Right.
but you don't want that. You don't want stuff happen to your personal property, and
Or to your
ultimately,
family, because sometimes if they can't get to you, they've been in a relationship with you. They've heard you talk about what is important, and if they feel that you are focusing on that what as is important more than what they have asked you to do or what they've asked you to like focus on, then that becomes their target because now they feel lowered, like lower than their lower self. And as someone said, like their insecurities are unstable. Like they don't have control over what they give the most power to make it elevated over them, that is making them feel insecure because they probably may need to grow in some areas, but they might have something else that they bring into the table that's far greater as important. And maybe they can encourage someone's memory with some of that sea moss, and they be able to grow and communicate in a more effective manner that is not in the family of jealousy, insecurity, aggression towards each other for no apparent reason.
listen. You said there's other things. Listen, there's no
There's
doubt,
always layers to everything.
no doubt in this world we live in. Women have something
Mm,
that controls a lot of what goes on in this world. And we as grown people, we know what that is. We know what it is. Because we only human. We only men. And y'all only women. And y'all know what it does. And we know what it does. And a lot of times when you got jealous, toxic people around you, they use that to their advantage. Because they might be the best at that. They
mm-hmm,
might be the absolute game winner at that. Make
mm-hmm.
your whole head spin. And you'll deal with that
You or
because,
not, because you may avoid dealing with it, which is what makes the imbalance of them wanting to do something to your car, do something to your family,
oh
or
yeah,
to you at your
yeah,
workplace to make you. They know if you have elevated to a certain level that you don't want them coming to your job with this shenanigans. But yet, if they do, then it's embarrassing. It's going to possibly stop the financial flow, but they're on the surface anger. They're not looking at the total situation, and that's the part that they need to be able to learn how to pump the brakes, and recognizing that the positioning that they are allowing to exist is not necessarily the place for like airing out this trash or airing out like how to resolve stuff, because they're going to stay stuck, and they're going to say every relationship I get into, this shows up. And you got to look at what the common denominator is. If you're in all of those places, then it's you that needs to be fixed and rehabilitated and doing something that's going to change your actions of the energy that you attract and draw to you.
Yeah, listen, man. It's funny, and I think that's why I tell young people all the time. It's so hard for young people to have these relationships because we're talking about it, and we're talking to an audience who are probably grown people who go through a lot of this stuff
Mm-hmm.
and don't know how to navigate through this stuff. And
Right.
then if you're 15, 16, 17 years old and you trying to learn yourself, and then you throw in all these other issues from somebody else into a relationship because you say, I like them or I love them because of humanity, but all these other issues you are definitely not ready for. And then you talk about that first layer of emotional uh, uh, of of responses that you get. That's why a lot of young people get in so much trouble. That's why people, period, get that you
The
want that other,
impulsive.
yeah, you want the other person to hurt like you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about nothing else but the hurt. Instead, you should be running from that person.
Right.
You should be running from that person.
And not trying to fix them, because hurt people can't fix another hurt person. Like that's a toxic role and responsibility that people take on too. Is they're like, oh well, we got the same type of trauma or the same type of experiences, we must be compatible. No, run, Forrest, run. You are not compatible. You got the same things that you guys can be friends. However, you really can't even be friends, because your journey on how it is that you address and approach doing better by yourself is going to be different, because how you got to that place is different. But to be friends and thinking that that's going to be the best partner or mate or somebody that can be accountability partner to you is far from the truth as possible.
Right. Yeah, it's great. And listen, I was watching one of the ads that scroll on your phone or on your computer, and it was that Red Table Talk,
Mm,
Jada Pinkett, and she got a card game. Like it's a card game to know, I guess, the people around you. So I'm like these actors are incredible. That's why I want people to be leery about everybody that they give you in your face, man. Because these people, these relationships that we see them go through, and then they want to give us advice on what we going through.
right.
Man, listen, man, these people are awful people. Now she got a card game on relationships. Are you kidding me?
All of a sudden.
Like you the expert. Nah, we seen you. Ta- Listen, I ain't gonna go into it, but it's just funny, man, how people will use their toxic situations to try to bring you to their level and then exploit you.
Mm-hmm. It's
Then, ex-
positioning.
then
It's
exploit you.
positioning. It's positioning and placing power, making you feel like you're deficient or that you're less than. And as long as you live in that life, and the thing about it is, we are having adult type conversation. You may be reliving something that happened in your family where they were always talking down to you or negative about you, and so you think that that's love, and you have to be like, okay, I'm getting off of this wheel of thinking that this is the way that someone shows me that they care about me, that they're in it for the long haul. Like it's not that it's not that simple. And so because it's not that simple, it's like you think that you can erase or walk away from maybe your parent, your uncle, your aunt, whoever took care of you, or whoever was harmful with the words that they said. Words hurt, and they cut deep. And those deeps, when they cut deep, they don't just, get stitched up and they're better. You really have to do something about it to know that you're not going to keep rehearsing the same thing over and over again. And that, like, I don't know how many ways that I could actually say that, but what harm and what negative patterns that you learn as a child, be it that you sought out to learn it or it was placed upon you, which is a positioning thing, you end up acting it out as an adult, all the way through you being in that board and conference room, getting ready to get your biggest payoff or your biggest presentation or your biggest contract, and the little girl in you or the little boy in you that was hurt, somebody in that room is representing that same energy of that person. And so therefore you end up falling into that old sense of self, that old lower self, and missing the whole contract altogether or missing the whole promotion altogether. And you're like, okay, what happened? Get help to figure it out.
No, yeah, that's real talk. Listen, you gotta. I've had regular conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I've had deep conversations. I've had conversations that I probably was one sided that hurt me or hurt my mom. But I asked the difficult questions because
Mm-hmm.
your parent, it wasn't just them. And I deposited in them as well.
Right.
So we got to start somewhere and finding out what it is that this society, it kind of sees our weaknesses and exploits it,
Mm-hmm.
knowingly or unknowingly,
Right.
conscious, subconscious. It sees that weakness and it exploits it. And we need to go back and, like you said, fix a lot of that hurt. And I know a lot for men, it's difficult. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us and a lot of us in our community, you know what I'm saying? We hold information, hold secrets like it's being tough or something.
Right.
Um, we don't know. A lot of times that's what it's more about. We don't know. We don't care. Don't even care about yourself. So to care about the people before you, nah. And we are doing a lot of just surviving. You know what I'm saying? Just surviving day by day. So you don't have time to do certain things like that. But we gotta get out of our own way. We gotta
Mm-hmm.
we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Put the pride, the ego aside. Ask your mom, ask your father, ask your aunties, ask your grandparents. Go do your own homework, like I always do. Go study. Study your own people. Study yourself. Because then you'll start to understand, oh, that's why I do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because my grandmother did it. My grandfather did it. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll understand what that weak point was, where you could become a cycle, builder instead of breaker. You could fix the bridge
Mm-hmm.
instead of coming to the edge like I don't know and then turning back. No, you
And
came with
in
the
your life,
tool.
every situation you come into the edge. So you like living from one crisis to the next and never like really resolving what the true issue is. And it's like, okay, wait, I am always in crisis mode. I'm always tired. I'm always fatigued. I'm always dehydrated. All of those are signs that your body is trying to let you know, like, that what you're doing is not the best for your body. And the body is the shell to cover us all. Like, if you don't take care of your body, and it being the mind, body, and the soul, the spirit, like all of those things, then you can't even represent yourself well to be that partner or to be that teammate in a sport or at work or like a parent to your child. Like, if you are constantly in an ill thinking mindset, then you're going to be limited and you're going to be harmful not only to yourself but everybody that you come around, because you're the common denominator. And that's a hard pill to swallow, that, because we usually want to think of ourselves as we're positive, we're making change, we're doing great things to help people move forward and grow. But we all have a space that has more influence and more power over us, that we can't just keep tucking that safe chest in the corner and walking past it and saying, okay, well, one day that box is just gonna burn and it's not gonna be an issue anymore. No, it's a box for a reason. And you got to live outside the box. You can't live in a life that has any four corners around you. So it's like, if that has that much power and influence over you, you gotta let it go. And you usually can't do that letting it go independent of a third party person or a third party source telling you And I'm not saying it has to be therapy, but it could be exercise, because the results of exercise is that your body is going to be that shell that's going to be healthy, and you're going to be committed to the food and the routines and stuff like that that you need to do, that gives you time to focus only clearly. Whereas if you're not exercising, you got a whole bunch of competing agendas holding you in that same spot. If that makes sense, that's, you can't get skinny or get the body of life, or have more energy, more ability to move your limbs if you're not exercising it. So think about that and how it plays a part in your language and in your heart and everything else that you're doing.
Listen, you got to put the work in.
You got to put the work
There's,
in.
there's a reason why it's called infinite minded body, because you don't have one without the other. You can have them both, but they won't both be elevated to their capacity if you're not feeding them both the right thing, if you're not putting the right things in your mind, if you're not being around the right people. If you constantly got awful thoughts, bad thoughts, and things like that, listen, your mind is weak. It could fall for anything. It'll fall for trickery when it's not strong. It'll fall for the BS. And we get 24-hour cycle of news now on the internet, where you can wake up at 2:30 in the morning and know what's going on in Africa right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't have a strong mind, you could be pumped in with a lot of garbage, man. If your body's not strong, if you're not eating the right things, like you said, I'm gonna show you again. If you're not putting stuff, and this is in its gel form, but if you're not getting minerals and herbs in there, and you always eating flesh, you know what I'm saying? If you always eating these animals that these animals give us, what
Right.
you think's gonna happen, man?
Right.
You're gonna start to change and look different. Skin's gonna be awful. It's like it's certain things that's gonna happen to us that if we're not taking care of the mind and body. Listen, toxic things come in all shapes, sizes, and forms, man.
And as you scrolling up your social media news feeds, your brain does what you tell it to do. So like if you are feeding it trash, then it's going to be trash, because that's what the energy that it's aware of. So you have to make that definitive choice, that if there is an ill spirit, a mean spirit, like about you in any particular way, you really have to figure out a way to change that energy, because otherwise you're gonna be like, okay, why everybody that come around me drain me, or they think that I'm the strong person and they could just get what they need or want from me, and then when I reach out to get that same type of help, I don't get that same thing. It's the currency. You become a capital to them, that they can get what they want and they don't have to put any deposits or any value back into the relationship, because you're constantly giving. And so you have to look at that, because then that becomes toxic and you're isolated. Like, okay, well, I don't have any friends that I can count on. Why is that? Like, we create that.
Yeah, like I'm listening to you give that example, and I think about like when stars, entertainers post on social media, and then people just flood their joint with just
They reshare it.
adoration, and then if there's one person who says something against, it's you block, you hate, and it's like, oh my god, like people are, listen, man, sometimes you have to detach. you
Yeah.
have you have to detach, man, from what's going on, man. Like you can't be on this thing, and because I could guarantee you, like I was told by one of my old heads growing up, he was like, you got to leave the burg. It's going to be here when you get back. I promise you. The same people
Mm-hmm.
going to be here. They're going to be on the same corners doing the same things. The
Mm-hmm.
same things, man. So, like, social media, if you detach from it for a few days, don't worry about it. It's going to be there. I
Right.
promise you. But it's
Right.
going to be good for you. It's going to be good to kind of
Like
let
detox.
go of, yeah, from everybody else's issues, man. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's only going, like you said earlier in the show, it's only going to get ramped up with these two men about to say everything under the sun to them for your vote, and neither one of them really don't care about you.
Right.
That's the truth from Cousin Fletch. They could
Right.
care less about you, man. You know what I'm saying? One's blatant with it, one is real sneaky and conniving with it. So sometimes you gotta detach, man, and there'll be nothing wrong with detaching at all.
It's actually healthy for you. So yeah, that's definitely, you could journal, you can, I mean, it's so many things. You can go to whatever waterfront that you have near you or a park. You can get that fresh air, to rebuild your immune system in a different way from nature. If you are coming in contact with a lot of people, get ginger root, lemons, oranges, cinnamon, and turmeric and burn that on the stove. Make hot tea, or just have the steam come across your face. Those things are ways in which you build yourself up, your immune system, but you're also building your energy. So you might hear people talk about burning sage, and you could do that as well. But this is a way to build your energy so that those toxic things begin to repel and like go the other way. Like they're no longer of focus or of interest to you because you are doing something different. And people be like, "Oh, you getting new on us, or you changing the game." And the people who you are with today are not necessarily people you're going to be with when you excel. So, I want to say every 2 to 5 years, you might have a new squad or team because you're in a new squad or team for yourself. And your panel is that you started with is not going to be the panel that you
Yeah.
always with.
Hey man, everybody love the screen at day one, man. If your day one ain't on the same elevation path to get where you going, you gotta stay at the day one. I'm
Right.
on day 6,000. You stay on day one, man.
Right.
Like honestly, man. Like yeah, I'm changing. I'm eating different. I don't go to the corner store and eat that crap no more. Yeah, I'm changing. I love the hood. I don't eat none of it no more.
And jealousy could come up here too. Like if somebody was with you in the beginning and they like, okay, well, you got to do all these new things, and they trying to pull you back or change your focus from just saying, yeah, I got to go get this goal. Like this goal is what's going to help not only me and my growth. If it's your will to help other people, like it's going to help other people. Like you got to have somebody in your corner, even if it's just you and the higher being that you choose to follow, that's going to help you stay focused and pushing forward. Because otherwise, and just embrace that. Yeah, it's going to hurt when you have to separate from some of those people and individuals because of whatever your relationship is, but you can only become the CEO of your life when you do better.
So listen, this is where I'm at a point now, at a stage where a lot of my friends still like to go to the cheesesteak spots. And they'll come from out of town to Philly to go to certain spots. I'll go with them. I don't eat it. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't bash them in the head right then and there. Whatever they want to do toxic to them, now I'm at a point where that don't bother me. I
Mm-hmm.
come to our platform and I talk about it because I
Right.
want him to eat different. But I love my homie more than what he eat. Like he can have that trash. I don't want it. And I told him about they got violations and everything. Like it's like no, but they still want it. So love it, man. You like it, I love it, man. But it's not for me. And for a lot of us, we not at that state. We not at that point mentally where you can still sit around people and tell people, "Nah, I don't want that cake. I don't want that ice cream. I don't want that. I don't need that. I'll just go drink some alkaline water." You know what I'm saying? I'll go drink. I'll go eat my sea balls. I'll go get some purple and red cabbage. Like I'm at that point. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I ain't perfect with it. Yeah, I indulge, but mentally I don't go overboard with it because I know the end result.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of brothers my age, their hair gone, it's over. You know what I'm saying? It's over. A lot of stuff going on, man. They shirts don't fit the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I got motivation. My homeboy Madi Williams, shout out to Madi. He is ripped up at 40.
Right.
He made me get back at it. I wasn't jealous. I was inspired. There's another.
Right. And it's a difference. That's really clearly a difference because people may be thinking that we're saying, okay, you can admire somebody. You can admire, especially if it's motivating you, but you got to make sure that your motivations and your intentions are correct. Because if they're not, then you're opening that door to just be in the wrong place.
Yeah, no. And listen, I mean, I had to keep going. And shout out to everybody. Sunday nights, 8 p.m. You just tuning in. Check it out, please. Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Um, but as you can see, I'm gonna stand up to do this. Actually, I want to do this with IG as well. Um, so I'm if you could go back live with me or
Okay, let's see.
is that possible?
It is possible. It just means,
I'm connecting. So I just want to show everybody the new shirts I'm kind of hype about. So um I don't know if you see me up there on IG. I don't know if I stand up because on my screen all I see is infinite mind and body. So I'll just stand up a little bit and you guys can see the new logo, the t-shirts, chocolate crown. Um
and then
on IG. It looks amazing on IG. I can't lie, everybody. That's the new
here's the
logo.
one in gold.
Got it in gold. Um, you know, we're gonna put up the Cash app next week because we trying to get a few followers, man. Follow the Chocolate Crown, dope T-shirts. We're not gonna bang you in the head, but a lot. Everybody's not in the area where I am, and I'll be hustling these things off. So I'll probably have to be shipping them. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. We got a dope logo, Chocolate Crowns.
Logo
Um,
from Stacy JC.
Shout out to Stacy, she's amazing. Shout out to Fresh Prince in Philly. Let me make sure I said that. Fresh Prince Philly, 2825 North
Everybody,
22nd
it's like
Street,
where I am, and I'll be hustling these
Philadelphia.
things off. So I'll
Um,
probably have to be
Big
shipping
shout
them.
out to Fresh
And I'm
Prince.
kind
Shout
of
out to Stacy. We
excited. We got a
greatly
dope
appreciate you guys, man. So yeah, once again, there goes the logo.
shout out to Stacy. She's amazing. Shout out to Fresh Prince in Philly.
Hold on.
So, if there's any topics that you want us to jump into, and as we, like you said, we talk about love languages, relationships, always giving the man and woman point of view, um, intimacy, youth. I'm trying to think what's the other thing, social justice.
Oh yeah, social justice, and I ain't even get started yet. I ain't gonna lie. She already know. Like in a minute, and I don't care about. I do care about personal feelings, but when it's the truth, I don't care about how you feel. I care that you get the truth. I don't want you to lie to yourself anymore. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we ain't really banged on social justice like we're going to. Every one of the topics right now, we're just tickling the topics, trying to dangle the carrot. But we're gonna go deeper and deeper in all of this. IG, I see you guys. There you go. Shout out Chocolate Crown once again. Chocolate Crown. I'm hype about it, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon you're gonna see it flooded everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully nobody's jealous.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, but yeah, episode 8, Mary E. May Butterfly Love. You are the sugar honey iced tea. I appreciate you. All the kings and queens out there. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Thank y'all for checking in, being patient. Um,
Yeah, especially with our technical difficulties. If you were here in the beginning and you hung out with us throughout the entire conversation, thank you, thank
yeah,
you, thank you.
8 o'clock Saturdays. But listen, I'm still getting this in.
Okay.
Still getting this in. And I don't even know who's watching, but people, we need this. You have to get the Black Laws Dictionary in your house ASAP. ASAP. They're playing a different game than we are. They're playing a whole different game. You playing checkers. They playing Scrabble. You playing Monopoly. They playing PlayStation. You got to know the game they playing. And this is part of the game they playing. This is
Okay,
part
so
This is
I'm
part
going
of the game they play. This is for your food, to better your body. This is for your mind. Because in those Webster dictionaries, that's not how they plan in the court system. You need to know words and terminologies of what's being played in these court systems. and what's being said.
So we should talk about mind, body, and the legal system for our melanated folks. Mind, body, and the legal system.
I ain't going there right now.
All
I
right.
ain't going. We'll have that next week. We'll
That's
have
what I'm saying.
mind, body.
No. I didn't say this week. I'm saying that should be next week's conversation.
Yeah, that's deep. But yeah, we could do whatever you want to do. We could go there. But listen, people, please. Black Law Dictionary, Black Laws Dictionary, 4th edition. Learn some things. Learn what corporation is. Learn what a fringe court is. Learn what color is. The color of law. Learn what that is. You'll look at police officers a little differently. Learn what these things are and why we keep going in courtrooms. The ones who do, give it to your cousin. If he keep going courtroom, give it to him. Stop trusting people you call a lawyer to defend you. Ever since we was little kids, somebody bust you in your head. Your mama told you go defend yourself. You got older, you lost that. Everything we was taught, we lost. We was sick. Your grandmother whipped up some concoction of some natural herbs. We lost that. We go run to some doctor. He got a white coat with some old crazy last name. Like, go do your own homework. Defend yourself. Learn this stuff, man. Like, I won't go too much into that. But next week, I'm going in. You shouldn't even have said it. I'm going in. So tell your people, come. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Tell 2 more friends. Chocolate Crown, 8 p.m. Sunday nights.
So again, we thank you guys for joining our conversation this evening on whatever platform that you are joining us from. And we look forward to whatever the next 7 days conversation will build up to be. And please, if you could get your book is backwards. If you can get any of you can get any of these resources, I'm sure that you will be and feel enlightened. By the content, which it may be some eye-opening things. I also saw some comments around HBCUs in the comments, and we got a show for that too, because 2020 is the time of new vision being all the way clear to who we are in melanated communities, and so I guess next week will be the start of what that
Divine
means.
Nine, y'all can't hide. Y'all gonna get put on Front Street. And I don't want the softness, Divine Nine. Y'all already showing y'all she could take the comments. Kamala, she could take the comments. Y'all can't. Y'all can't take the comments. Let's be real. I just found out I went to a PWI a week ago. So HBCUs, you getting put on Front Street. And if y'all ain't doing something for our people that's positive, that's uplifting, we calling you out too. Just like you supposed to call me out. If I'm on some BS, you say Fletch, you on some BS, and I don't take it personal. If she's on some BS, we call her out.
Mm-hmm.
We've been calling Trump and all these other people out. They ain't no different. Just because they skin like you, they might not be your kin folks.
Right.
Just because they got skin folk don't mean they're your kin folk.
And a little further down the line, we're going to talk about how we're really a delicacy, and we need to understand that if we want to talk about how we can get elevated, we need to understand how melanated individuals are a delicacy to many. And so it's not really that they're trying to push us down. They need us for something else that we are totally oblivious to. So you just got to stay tuned each week, Sunday at 8.
Listen, everything you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Francis Chris Wilson, genetic annihilation. What you think they need you for? Okay, I ain't even gonna go there. I'm gonna see y'all next week,
baby. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you at 8. If you're catching us on the replay, let us know your thoughts. DM us, give us a shout out, and we'll see you soon.